What are the biggest challenges in running a museum?
We're a museum of modern and contemporary art, so we need to present art that is the art of today, art that is absolutely cutting edge, and the competition is fierce. If you place an object in a museum, for instance, if we took your bag and placed it here, would that make it art?
Okay.
Her til efteråret præsenterer vi den argentinske kunstner og sociolog Lola Arias og hendes udstilling, som hedder The Square.
Vi kan ikke som museum lade os skræmme af udtryk, der overskrider grænser. Det kan vi ikke gøre.
Nu är det dags för mat och vi har dukat fram en fantastisk buffé. Svampfylld rostad majskyckling. Jag vill jättegärna ta det lite lugnt. Ja, men
How often would you say that you take women that you don't know very well and have sex with them? You know their names?
Yeah?
So what's my name?
We have this old saying in Scotland, what's for you will no go past you. In other words, if something's meant to be, it will be. With 30 years of living and guiding expeditions in the Himalayas, I've led a pretty unusual life. And to be honest, I am lucky to still be here. I don't think it surprised anyone when I said I wanted to celebrate my 50th by going away for a while. But life is a funny way of not giving you what you want, but giving you what you need.
Realism is the practice of accepting a situation as it is.
What you're saying is what you see is what you get.
But what you see is not what I get. They call me lucky.
President Roosevelt escaped.
How does a 100-year-old tortoise escape?
I hope he turns up soon for Howard's sake.
I got this anxiety attack. I fell.
Lucky fell down.
Let's not make a production out of it.
No sign of concussion. Lungs are great, even though you smoke. You get much exercise.
I walk around all the time. I do 5 yoga exercises every day.
Nice outfit there, cowboy.
I was scared to death. I started thinking there's nothing out there. It's all black. The void. Este amor apasionado, anda torvo alborotado por volver. Se querer.
Have you ever been stuck? I spent a month on the floor, overwhelmed with stress. So when it finally went completely out and I was screaming on the floor in pain, I called Dr. Sarno.
The pain is generated in us when we put ourselves under pressure to be perfect and good.
I was so bad personally. During a radio show, I had to lay down on the floor.
It was such a great barometer of what was going on inside of me.
What do you mean psychological? I feel it. You think I'm making this pain up in my arm?
I must have spent 15 years of my life in this position.
Your body's telling you take a break and let some other person be awesome for a little while.
There's such a strong cultural mindset that the only legitimate way of treating disease is by giving drugs.
You know, my dad was hit by a car and he was killed.
Feelings, that's what we're talking about here.
I've been creating pain so as not to deal with things.
I had diarrhea for 6 months, and it turns out I was just scared shitless.
That is one angry foot.
I was working 4 jobs. That was too much. It was too much.
And that fury will evoke physical symptomatology as a defense against the rage.
I mean, rather than burning down the Capitol, they are turning that anger against themselves. Right?
Exactly.
Why isn't this being looked at?
They say enlightenment isn't in the attaining of truths, it's the removing of lies.
We're talking about life and death. And when I say we, I mean the human race.
I believe in finding a way out of this, but it's going to be a long road.
Many people say you saved my life.
All of this because of one simple idea, the fact that the mind and the body are intimately connected. That's the whole story.
This was fun being in your documentary.
Well, we heard about this small kid from Coos Bay who could run.
There's Prefontaine.
Kid we had to see, you know, real fire eater.
He was the last you'd expect to finish first.
Hey guys, Steve Prefontaine. It's the Beverly Hillbillies.
But he had the courage to dream.
Forget Jim Ryan, he's done. I'm gonna be the first Steve Prefontaine.
Peace. The desire to compete.
Cocky little mother.
I'd like to bottle it, force feed it to the rest of you guys.
The will to win.
There's no fall back here, no great stride.
Gee, Bill.
No long legs, nothing.
Hollywood Pictures presents...
You're Steve Prefontaine?
I'm not thinking about making the team. I'm thinking about gold in Munich.
The true story.
So that's Steve Prefontaine. I'd better be worried.
What if I don't win? I'm scared.
Of one man.
They're afraid of you. Don't be afraid of them.
The peace of the Olympics was shattered.
Who was born to run.
It's all ruined now. This is not how it's supposed to be. I've been dreaming about this since I was 16.
Here comes Prefontaine!
He shattered the records.
All of my life, people have said to me,
defied the rules.
You're too small, Pre.
Challenged the limits.
You're not fast enough, Pre. Give up your foolish dreams, Steve.
Prefontaine going for the lead!
I have to win.
From the producer and director of Hoop Dreams, Prefontaine.
A mechanic is somebody who can fix something. An auto mechanic fixes a car, a body mechanic is a professional killer. I'm a card mechanic, I can fix a card game.
Ace of cards, Richard Turner.
He can do things with cards no one else can do. He's a trickster.
He is demonstrating the moves used by cheaters, the most difficult things you can do with a deck of cards.
I represent why you should never play cards with strangers.
When I saw Richard Turner perform, I was in the presence of greatness.
About halfway through the show, you can see different members of the audience realize it. This guy can't see.
It was 1963. I was told you will eventually lose all your sight.
He had an eye disease. It's something they can't do anything about.
I was very mad, and a little bit of rebellion was starting to fester.
Part of his lifestyle was being not blind.
He did not want to be treated any differently.
He actually did stuff that he really shouldn't have done.
You're legally blind. Well, how could you possibly fight?
I don't know, find out.
Don't tell him he can't do something.
He's on the crazy end of obsessive compulsive.
He never puts the cards down.
He never takes a break.
So it makes that little sound all the time.
Turner is also legally blind.
Tell them about your eyesight. People have introduced me saying, oh, by the way, he's blind. What does that have to do with anything?